Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will see what actually happened inside the AWS US-EAST-1 region, which created this whole outage on 19th and 20th October 2025. This whole outage occurred because of a single service. This happened in three stages. In the first stage, they identified that there were some DNS errors which were causing because of the DynamoDB API failures. And then the next stage, they found that network load balancer were throwing health check failure errors for the instances, which were not allowing them to transfer traffic to the EC2 instance because instances were showing unhealthy. And on the third stage, they mentioned that users were not able to create the EC2 instances inside this region for more than 8 hours. Now let's jump right into what was the reason behind it and what actually happened inside these services and in their communication, which created this whole mess. So AWS had a DNS management system which was automatically updating the DNS records for different services. Monitoring part and planning part was from DNS planner, and DNS connector was something which had the right permission and was able to modify the records for the DNSs. What actually happened was there was a bug which created some empty record inside DynamoDB, and when DNS connector tried to resolve it, it exceeded its normal time, and after that, the backup or redundant services were activated, which updated those records that created DynamoDB wipeout situation and which removed all of the records from the DynamoDB. For this reason, the AWS had to remove this automation temporarily and manually resolve these issues on DNS level. Let's see how this was related to the different services. Like most of the services were impacted because of this. The DynamoDB was the central services which was used to store the metadata for different services, mainly the networking part. So for most of the communication, those metadata details about what's the IP or certain DNS record or their names were stored inside DynamoDB. And because the service was impacted, most of the services were not able to communicate with different services. For the EC2 instances, why EC2 users were not able to create the EC2 instance, because the droplet workflow manager, which is used to manage the state for the EC2 instance, stored the data inside DynamoDB, and because those records were removed, it was unable to confirm whether the EC2 instance is in healthy state or not. And similar for the network load balance, it started to throw errors because it was not getting the healthy instance confirmation or healthy instance updates or checks. Similarly, Lambda, ECS, and AWS Connect and IAM, all these services and so many services were impacted because of this. So this was something like a domino effect or ripple effect, which impacted this whole AWS infrastructure inside the US is one region which impacted everything. So the only solution which I think for us as a customer who are using AWS for their services like app deployment, servers, and everything, every service we use for AWS, I think the only solution could have been to use the regional disaster recovery solution. So for this to implement, the whole application has to be replicated in a different region, and it will be on standby, and it will wait for the main region to fall if anything goes wrong. In that case only the disaster recovery solution will be triggered. Cost and everything, and how much time you can afford to lose, and what's the business impact for your services or application to go down for this many hours. So everything has to be calculated before creating a disaster recovery solution. So that was my understanding from this whole AWS outage. I will share a link where AWS has officially mentioned all the details about this outage, like what actually happened and at what time. So you can find this in description or in the comment. So if you find this video helpful, you can leave a like, and if you have any queries, or anything in this can be improved, just drop a comment below and I will add those details in description as well. So thank you.